Hello students, today we are going to discuss about the definition of the Laplace transforms. So here is the definition of the Laplace transform. Let f of t be a given function and defined for all possible positive values of t. Then the Laplace transform of f of t denoted by L of f of t, or it can be denoted as f bar of s, is defined by like this. L of f of t is equal to f bar of s, which is equal to integral 0 to infinite e power of minus st f of t dt. So this is the definition of the Laplace transforms. So here, provided the integral exists. If this integral exists, then only this definition will be satisfied. Here the parameter s. So s is a parameter. Is a real or complex. It may be a real or complex. The symbol L is called the Laplace transform operator. So here we have written L of f of t. This L is nothing but the operator, Laplace transform operator. The relation 1, this one, can also be written as f of t is equal to inverse of f bar of s. If you wanted to find out the f of t, then if you find the inverse of the f bar of s, then you will get the f of t. So the symbol L inverse is called the inverse Laplace transforms. So here the existence of the Laplace transform is this sufficient condition for the existence of the Laplace transform of a function. While finding the Laplace transform of elementary functions, it can be noted that the integral exists under certain conditions. So what is that condition? Here the s always should be greater than 0. So here we are using the s, that s always should be greater than 0 or it should be greater than a, etc. So in general, the function f of t must satisfy the following conditions for the existence of the Laplace transform. These are the two conditions which must be satisfied to apply the Laplace transform. The first condition is it may be a piecewise continuous or sectionally continuous. So here the limits interval, interval is given like this: 0 is less than, a is less than or equal to t, t is less than or equal to b. So it may be piecewise continuous. Okay, so in this interval it should be satisfied. Next one, the function f of t is an exponential order. What is this piecewise continuous? What is this exponential order? Here we are going to discuss. So the definition of the piecewise continuous. The function f of t is defined in a closed interval a comma b. This is a function which is defined in a closed interval a comma b. The integral can be divided into finite number of subintervals. Any interval, if it is a to b, it can be divided into the subintervals. For example, if you have minus infinity to infinite, then you will be divided into subintervals like minus infinity to 0 or 0 to infinite. Like that, this interval can also be divided into the subintervals. Interval can be divided into the finite number of subintervals, in each of which f of t is continuous and has both right and left hand limits at every end point of the subinterval. Now for example, see here, f of t is defined like this: t square, the t square is lying between what? T is lying between what? 0 and 5. And if it is lying between 0 and 5, the function value is t square. If t is greater than 5, the function value is 2t plus 3. So this is the example for what? Sectional continuous. So for what? T is greater than 0. Now here is another example. F of t is equal to 1 by t is not a sectional condition. Is any interval containing t is equal to 0. If it is t is equal to 0, this is not satisfies. Okay, so this is about the piecewise continuous. Piecewise continuous is nothing but you can divide into the subintervals. That's it. Now, the second one is what? Function of exponential order. A function f of t is said to be exponential order A if limit t tends to infinite e power of minus at f of t is equal to a finite quantity. If you get a finite quantity, when you apply the limit to this function, then it is called exponential order. Here, for a given positive number of t, here if it is a given some positive number of t, there exists a real number where capital M is greater than 0, such that mod e power of minus at f of t should be less than this real number what we have taken, less than capital M, for all small t is greater than or equal to capital T. Or this can be written as mod f of t is less than capital M into e power of at. The condition is same. For example, if f of t is equal to t square or sin at or e power of at, like this so many functions are there, are all the exponential order, and those are all continuous functions. And here is another function, that is f of t is equal to e power of t square is not an exponential order, and as such its Laplace transform does not exist. For this such type of function, like this functions, the Laplace transform does not exist. For these type of functions, the Laplace transform exists. So these are the two conditions. Now come to the properties of the Laplace transform. Here is the first property, linearity property. So this is a theorem. The statement of the linearity property: if L of f of t is equal to f bar of s and L of g of t is equal to g bar of s, then L of c1 f of t plus c2 g of t is equal to c1 L of f of t plus c2 L of g of t, which is equal to c1 f bar of s plus c2 g bar of s, where c1 and c2 are constants. Now let us see the proof for this linearity property. So what is that? Here they have given. Okay, so here we need to use the proof for this. Yeah, what we know it actually, we know the definition of the Laplace transform. Here the definition, by the definition, L of f of t is equal to integral 0 to infinite f of t into e power of minus st dt. Right? So this is the definition. But we need for what? For this function. So here the f of t, the general definition I have written. Here the f of t is given like this. So let us apply for it. L of c1 f of t plus c2 g of t, which is equal to, here I am writing, integral 0 to infinite c1 f of t plus c2 g of t into e power of minus st f of t. Like this we will get it. Now this is equal to integral 0 to infinite c1 f of t. I am multiplying this e power of minus st. I am separating the integral also. So integral 0 to infinite c2 g of t into e power of minus st dt. Now this is equal to, c1 is the arbitrary constant, c1 is the constant, right? So c1 integral 0 to infinite f of t e power of minus st dt plus c2 integral 0 to infinite g of t into e power of minus st dt, right? So this is looking like what? Same as the Laplace transform definition. This is also same as the Laplace transforms, but here instead of f we have g. So this can be written as equal to c1 L of f of t plus c2 L of g of t. Okay, right. Now this is equal to, so when you simplify this, what we will get it? Also we can write it, this is equal to f bar of s. In the definition what we have, f bar of s is equal to this and this, right? So this L of f of t is nothing but you will get it f bar of s. So this can be written all as c1 f bar of s, means f. When you simplify this Laplace transform on the f of t, you will get it as f bar of s plus c2 g bar of s. Same thing we got it. So this is the linearity property. This is the first property of the Laplace transforms. So here the Laplace transform of some elementary functions. So some elementary functions can be solved by applying the Laplace transforms. So first elementary function is what? L of 1 is equal to 1 by s, where s should always be greater than 0. So let us prove for this. So here also we will be using the definition. By using the definition of Laplace transform, f bar of s is equal to L of f of t is equal to integral 0 to infinite f of t e power of minus st dt, right? Now we are finding for what? L of 1, means the function f of t is given what? 1. So integral 0 to infinite, the function value is 1 e power of minus st dt, right? Now this you will get it as integral 0 to infinite e power of minus st dt. Now we need to find out for the integral of this. So what we will get here? E power of minus st by minus s, because s is a parameter and you are differentiating with respect to t. Sorry, not integral, you are integrating with respect to t, so you will get it like this, and 0 to infinite. Now applying the limits, and you all know that e power of minus infinite is 0, okay, and e power of 0 is 1. So if you substitute the upper limit, this will become 0. Substitute the lower limit, 0 minus of e power of 0 is 1 by minus s. So therefore L of 1 is equal to what? 1 by s. Okay, so this is the first elementary function, and next we are going to do it for the L of t. Okay, right, here also we are using the definition. F bar of s is equal to L of f of t is equal to integral 0 to infinite f of t e power of minus st dt. L of t is equal to, so here the function is t, so integral 0 to infinite t e power of minus st dt. So I need to do the integration by using the by parts is equal to, so I'll be taking the t as a first function. By using the method, I'll write inverse, logarithmic, algebraic, trigonometric, exponential. So t is an algebraic, so I need to take algebraic come first, then the exponential. So t as the first function, t into e power of minus st by minus s, the integral I have done it, minus the derivative of t is what? 1. Again the integral you need to do it, e power of minus st by, this will become plus s square, and they have given the limits 0 to infinite. Substitute it. You here itself I said you that e power of minus infinite is 0, e power of 0 is 1. So upper limit, if I substitute in these two terms, it will become 0. and the lower limit, if I substitute in t, this will also become 0, right? So only left with one term. So this is equal to 0 minus 0 minus plus 0 minus get plus 1 by s square. So therefore L of t is equal to what we get? 1 by s square. So providing what? Here the s always should be greater than 0. So here also s always should be greater than 0. Okay, right. So the next one is what? L of t power of n. So here is the proof. So here also we are using the definition of Laplace transform. F bar of s is equal to L of f of t is equal to integral 0 to infinite f of t e power of minus st dt. So here the f of t is what? T power of n. So L of t power of n is equal to integral 0 to infinite t power of n e power of minus st dt. Now we need to simplify this. Integral 0 to infinite. Okay, sorry. T power of, so here we are going to take t power of n as the first function and e power of minus st as another function. First function I am writing as it is. The integral of this is what? E power of minus st by minus s. Limits 0 to infinite minus integral 0 to infinite. The derivative of t power of n is what? N into t power of n minus 1. The integral of this minus s dt. So like this we got it. Now here I am simplifying the first function. If I apply the upper limit, this will become 0 because e power of minus infinity is 0. If I apply the lower limit, t is 0. So this whole thing will become 0. So only left with this term. So here minus, this minus will become plus. This is equal to n by s integral 0 to infinite t power of n minus 1 e power of minus st dt. Now this is looking like a Laplace transform, but the function is what? T power of n minus 1. So this can be written as n by s L of t power of n minus 1. So again I need to do the Laplace transform on this, right? So similarly L of t power of n minus 1, if I simplify it, I will get it n minus 1 by s L of t power of n minus 2. Like that, if I simplify for this, I will get it n minus 2 by s L of t power of n minus 3. Right? So like that, all the terms, whatever the terms, we will get it of a Laplace transform of t power of n minus 4, Laplace transform of t power of n minus 5. If I all repeat it, solving those by repeatedly applying this, we get L of t power of n is equal to, this is the L of t power of n, we got it. So this value I will substitute it. Again this value I need to substitute. So this, after substituting all the terms, you will get it n by s, n minus 1 by s, n minus 2 by s, so on, 2 by s into 1 by s. At the last, L of t power of n minus n. So this is equal to what? In the numerator, if you see, n into n minus 1, n minus 2, so on up to 2 and 1. So this can be written as what? N factorial by. So here we have in the denominator s into s into s into. So how many s's I'll get it? Finally here I'll get it t power of 0, which is 1. L of 1 is what? 1. Since L of 1 is equal to 1. So how many s will get it? N. So n factorial by s power of n. L of 1. So which is nothing but n factorial by, L of 1 is 1 by s, no? So s power of n. L of 1 is what? 1 by s. So what I'll get here? N factorial by s power of n plus 1. So this is the, therefore L of t power of n is equal to, what is the formula? N factorial by s power of n plus 1. So this is one of the formula for the Laplace transform. And the same thing can also be expressed in the gamma function. In the gamma function. So here the n factorial in the gamma function, you know that gamma n is equal to integral 0 to infinite e power of minus x, x power of n minus 1 dx. This is the gamma function definition. And there is a formula that gamma n plus 1 is equal to n gamma n, or this you will get it as n factorial for n is positive integer. So here we are doing for the positive integer. So where n is a positive integer. So here this is a positive integers. So the n factorial can also be expressed in the gamma. So therefore L of t power of n is equal to gamma n plus 1 by s power of n plus 1. When n is greater than minus 1. N is greater than minus 1, you can use this. So we have another formulas also. We will derive it. So this is fourth one, right? Fourth one is L of e power of at is equal to 1 by s minus a, where s minus a is greater than 0. Now let us see the proof. Let us see the proof for this. So the definition is what? L of f of t is equal to integral 0 to infinite e power of minus st f of t dt, which is we are finding for the L of e power of at, integral 0 to infinite e power of minus st e power of at. The function is e power of at dt, which is equal to integral 0 to infinite. This can be written as what? E power of minus s minus a into t dt. Now you can find out the integration e power of minus s minus a by s into s minus a. The limits are what? 0 to infinite. So if you substitute the upper limit 0, substitute the lower limit, e power of 0 is 1. Now this you will get it as what? Lower limit, no? Minus of 1 by minus s minus a. So this minus will become plus. So 1 by s minus a. The first term is 0. So therefore L of e power of at formula is what? 1 by s minus a. Now the fifth elementary formula, L of sin h at is equal to, we need to prove it as a by s square minus a square if s is greater than mod a. Now proofs comes like this. the definition L of f of t is equal to integral 0 to infinite e power of minus st f of t dt. Now the f of t function is given what? Sin h a t is equal to integral 0 to infinite e power of minus st sin h a t into dt. Right? Now we need to simplify this. So to simplify this, you can write this sin h a t in the form of e power of a t minus e power of minus a t by 2. Like this. Here itself you can write it because we know the formula of e power of a t, or you can simplify in this way. Okay. So if you simplify it in this way, you will get the same. Let me do it. E power of minus st into e power of a t minus e power of minus a t by 2 into dt. So 1 by 2 is a constant. I will take it out of the integral. Integral 0 to infinite e power of minus s minus a t. For this I am multiplying it. I am writing plus e power of minus s minus dt minus separating it 1 by 2 integral 0 to infinite e power of minus s plus a dt. So like this you will get it. If you separate the terms, multiplying e power of minus st to the e power of at and e power of minus st to the e power of minus at, taking writing in the form, so you will get it like this. So the integral of this is what? 1 by 2 e power of minus s minus a by minus s minus a. The limits are 0 to infinite. Minus 1 by 2 e power of minus s plus a by minus s plus a. The limits are 0 to infinite. Upper limit is 0 in this case, or this is in this case. The lower limit you will get it as what? 1 by 2. The lower case means minus of. So this will become plus and this will become minus because already it will become plus. So 1 by 2, 1 by s minus a minus 1 by 2 by s plus a. So if you take the LCM, what we will get here? S minus a minus s minus a. By s square minus a square. Right? I'm sorry, this will become plus. No? S plus a, s minus a. Right. Now it is right. So what we got it here is equal to 1 by 2, 2a by s square minus a square. 2 get cancelled. A by s square minus a square. So therefore L of sin h a t is equal to a by s square minus a square. This is the L of sin h a t. So similarly, you can find out for the L of cos h a t. So you should get it like this: s by s square minus a square if s is greater than mod a. So work out on this, do it by yourself and check it out whether you will get the same answer or not. If you get any doubt, you can contact me. So the next one is what? Next one is 7th one. L of cos 80 is equal to s by s square plus a square if s is greater than 0. S is greater than 0. Now the solution. L of f of t, definition I am writing, integral 0 to infinite e power of minus st f of t dt. So the function is what? Cos 80. So L of cos 80 is equal to integral 0 to infinite e power of minus st cos 80 dt. Now here you have a formula for the e power of minus st cos 80. What is that? Since integral e power of ax cos bx dx is equal to, what is that formula? E power of ax by a square plus b square into a cos bx plus b sin bx. If it is sin, you will get it minus a sin bx minus b cos bx for the sin. So for the cos, this is the formula. Now this is equal to e power of minus st by, the a value is what? S. Since the a value is what? Minus s, b value is what? A here. Okay. So according to this formula I am writing this. So e power of minus st by s square plus a square. Here square is there, so it will become minus, will become plus. So s square plus a square into a is what? Minus s cos 80 plus a into sin 80. The limits are what? 0 to infinite. If I substitute the upper limit, that will become 0. So substituting the lower limit, minus of e power of 0 is 1. So 1 by s square plus a square into, substituting the 0. So minus s, the cos 0 is 1. Since cos 0 is 1, sin 0 is 0. So cos 0 is 1. So this will become 0. So minus get plus s by s square plus a square. So therefore L of cos 80 is nothing but this. Right? Now, so eighth one is L of sin 80. So L of sin 80, a by s square plus a square if s is greater than 0. So these are all formulas. This cos h80 and sin 80, you simplify it, check it out whether you have understood the concept. If you get any doubt, you can contact me. So for today, I'll stop the class.